let's start.
All right, then thank you so much, Shagun, first of all, for being here. It's like I'm thrilled to have you. To be honest, we've been doing a couple of sessions, and this is actually the first time that I'm speaking to somebody who has such a varied profile that you have. Thank you so much.
It's all my pleasure, really.
Okay, so we'll start from the very beginning, Shagun. Okay,
Mhm.
and I understand that you have been there creating content for about a while.
Yeah.
So how did it all start? Was it like a eureka moment? Oh, one fine day, I want to be an Instagrammer or a blogger or a creator, or did it seep in over a period of time? Like, how did that happen?
So if I see my journey, it's been good 5.5 to 6 years now. So I had this college friend who was also equally into food as I was always, and she actually started writing reviews on this platform called Zomato, and
Mhm.
she introduced me to the Zomato world and said that hey, it's really fun and very addictive to write reviews there. So I thought, okay, why not give it a try?
Right.
So I became quite a regular reviewer of restaurants on Zomato, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I did it for a year or so.
Okay.
That's when, in fact, Zomato noticed me on their platform, being a very regular reviewer, and invited me to their office to talk to me and have a chat. Once we got talking, through Zomato, basically, I met a lot of new people who were doing full time blogging.
Right.
Yeah, they had their own blogs and not just writing for Zomato. So that gave me the idea that hey, why not write for myself? Why for a third party vendor always? Okay, so it's not a sustainable model at the end of the day. So I
Right.
thought of writing for myself as well. That's when I thought of I from that point I took 3 months time to conceptualize the entire blog, like a proper website, Instagram page, Facebook page, the logo, the theme, and everything. I took good 3 months, and then I launched my food project 4.5 years back. So
Okay.
yeah, so I didn't leave writing on Zomato because I liked that platform. It was addictive, but my main focus was my own blog.
Fair. So right now, how many platforms are you on? I know that you're on Instagram. I know you're on YouTube. I know you have your own blog, and like you said, you're also on Zomato. So four platforms, or is there something that I'm missing out?
Facebook.
Facebook, of course.
Yeah, of course. How can you leave Facebook?
Right.
Yeah, and I recently joined TikTok and Hello.
Oh,
Very,
yeah.
very. In fact, Hello was just about 3 days back,
Oh,
and
that's
TikTok
very
was about
recent.
2 weeks back. Yeah, but so I thought, why not explore these new platforms because they're really growing. Their downloads have increased a lot. So just giving it a try.
Right, right. So my next question actually, Shagun, was very closely linked to this particular one. And I wanted to understand if you're exploring newer platforms as well. You already said that now you're on TikTok, you're on Halo as well.
Yeah.
But apart from content creation on these platforms, is there anything else from like being a creator perspective that you're exploring right now? Maybe something which is a branded or a co-branded property or something else. I mean, is there something which is there in the pipeline, or is it content creation at least for now?
I was not on YouTube till about 2 months back. Before
Oh,
that, I was only on Instagram, Facebook, blog, and Zomato. So all these other platforms have come in during the lockdown period,
wow.
and because of that, like YouTube is another world in itself.
Yes.
So creating videos for YouTube in the landscape mode and all that is so new for me. And then learning the platform itself, the search engine optimization, and of course the video editing bit of it. That also I'm learning on the job, and so all these things are so new for me right now that I don't have any time left or any brain left to take up any other new. So I think I'll spend the next few months focusing on YouTube, TikTok, Hello,
Right.
while I still have Instagram and I'm a pro there, but the other platforms I'm yet to learn and master that.
So it's good that we're talking about this, Shagun. What I would want to hear understand is, do you have a team of people helping you out, or is this like a single woman army wherein you are shooting also, you're conceptualizing as well, you're editing, you're publishing?
Yeah, it's a one woman army, seriously.
Wow.
Till about 3 years back, I had 8 interns working for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and since the time they joined me, they had made it very clear that, hey, Shagun, our main motive to work with you is to learn how blogging works.
Yeah.
and to make contacts. And these guys were so genuine and they opened up in front of me. So I said, okay, why not? I will support you. I will give you my experience letter that you worked with me and what all work you did. And actually, it really helped them with their further admissions in MDI. And yeah. So nonetheless, I had 8 people working for me. And I let them go whenever they wanted to go for higher studies or have their own blog. I let them go. I said, take your own time.
Right. So help me understand now. One woman, about 5 platforms, okay, regular content creation, and a lot of other things on top of that. You told me that it's been only a couple of months that you have left a full-time job that you were into, right?
Yeah, in January this year.
Wow. So how did you manage that? And this is
and one more thing I'll add. I got married in November, so only 6 months back.
Wow. To a new house, about 5 platforms, single lady doing everything. Hats off. Okay, how did you do it?
Oh God, I think I'm just too passionate about it, about my blog and about food. Yeah, seriously, it's only passion that's driving me and nothing else. Frankly, it was only passion for this that made me leave my job. And having a job is a lot of mental satisfaction at the end of the day. You know that, okay, 10 days you work well, 5 days you don't want to do, you don't want to work properly, you just want to leave early from office, and you can do it, but still get your salary.
Right.
So it was a big step for me to leave a financial security and take this up. Yeah, which is not making me financially secure at this point, considering the lockdown and the current scenario. But it's all for the love of food and for the love of sharing different recipes, different what to eat, where to eat, why to eat. So it's all that. It's all this is driving me. That's it.
Okay, well, that's a very deep thought, if I have to put it that way. And I don't think I've met a lot of people who have been so passionate about something that they can like literally leave everything else to do what they love doing. I mean, I'm totally inspired, to be extremely honest. Okay. On that note, tell me something. Now, of course, I understand when you would have started, things would not have worked out the way you maybe expected them to be. So, how did you manage that? So, one is, did you find or did you have some setbacks there? Were there failures? Were there things which did not work out? If yes, do you want to talk about those? Do you want to help us understand how did you come out of that and what impact did they make on you?
Yeah, definitely. In fact, not one. I think I had 2-3 setbacks and challenges. And I'm prepared for more to come in future.
Yeah.
So first of all, of course, when you start a new platform or a new blog, nobody knows you, right?
Right.
It's a completely new world. And to make a mark there, it took me good 6 to 7 months to get my first 10,000 followers.
Okay.
Okay. And this is of the time when things were good, when Instagram itself was a new platform and there were very few followers.
Right.
So there was no one really to guide you ki, Achha, I'm a big blogger, I can guide you on how to do it. There were not many other bloggers. Learning the platform, making your own mark was a big challenge. I think first 6 months nobody knew me. It was only after my first 10,000 followers when people started knowing me. They started contacting me for campaigns. So that was a challenge, but a happy one. I wouldn't say it was, I mean, it was just a challenge, not a setback. My major setback has been when I decided to do executive MBA along with my job. Because my family was of the view that, okay, fine, offbeat profession hai, you can take it up. But in the long run, you need to have some education to fall back upon.
Right.
So my family was always of the view that I should have a postgraduate degree.
Right.
So I decided to do MBA in collaboration with my company itself, with ISB.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good 20-month program. So doing that along with my job, I had to compromise on one thing. It could not be my job. It could not be my MBA because I would be thrown out otherwise.
Okay, I know what it is then.
Yeah. So the only thing that had to take a backseat was my blog.
Okay.
So I took that decision, and throughout the 20-month period when I was doing my MBA, I was pretty irregular with my blog. Without realizing that with every single day, it was really affecting my reach.
Right.
Instagram punishes you for not being regular for even one day, and I was not regular for 20 months.
Correct.
And that really affected my reach. So December 2018 is when I had my convocation, and then I started becoming a little more regular again. But then I realized my reach had fallen, like it had reached rock bottom.
Of course.
Yeah. So since then, it's been more than a year. It's been 1.5 years, and I'm still struggling with my reach.
I'm sure everybody is, because I mean, at times you get irregular. You can't help it.
Yeah, and I had to prioritize, right? So
Correct.
and then last year I had my wedding. So again, for 2-3 months in the end, when things were getting crazy, I had to again let blog be for a bit. So
Right.
yeah. So the impact is quite huge. I'm still struggling with my reach, but yeah, I'm working on it.
So, the next question is actually very closely related to what you just said. I want to understand, what does your husband think? I mean, is he of the opinion that leaving a well-paying job, a permanent financial security kind of thing for something which you truly want to do, is that a wise decision, specifically because financially these two are very different, right?
Touch wood, I have been very lucky there. Because when I started dating him, I didn't have a blog. I started my blog after I started dating him. And so he's seen my journey from 0 followers to 1,47,000 followers. And according to him, I should have left my job much before.
Wow.
So in fact, there are days when I'm feeling very low because my reach is low. I'm not getting enough likes and I'm still struggling. And then he says, okay, I told you, you shouldn't have done your MBA. You should have left your job that time and then taken care of your blog. So he's been so supportive there. And even now, frankly, I see him on his YouTube. My videos are running on his phone.
Wow.
On repeat. So that I get my desired reach and views. He's doing his bit all the time, every second of the day to help me grow.
I'm sure, yeah. That's so cool, Shagun. That's very cool of him to do something like this. Okay, on that note, Shagun, so you said that your husband has been very supportive, and he has been very kind to tell you that follow your passion and everything. But at the same point in time, you also mentioned that there are times when you feel low because the numbers do not do justice to the kind of work you have been doing. So is this a real world problem? Because a lot of creators, and a lot of creators that I have spoken to, they have said that this is a very real world kind of problem, that you are in this constant pressure of outdoing yourself every time you create a new content piece. So one is, of course, is that a pressure that you also go through right now? And if yes, how do you cope up with it?
Yeah, it is seriously a real world pressure, and it is so frustrating when you see your post not performing and a horrible post by another creator doing very well. That totally spoils your mood for the day. Really frustrating, and it happens every second day.
Okay.
One day is good for you, one day is bad for you, then another day is good, another day is bad. But at the same time, you know what? I have come to realize that my content is good. Okay, that's what I feel. My content is good. It is not childish, and it is not only street food, or it is not only cheap, dirty food. I'm giving a lot of variety to my followers, be it in terms of recipes, and I'm posting stuff from street food to 5-star food. So there is some level of quality there. Now, even another person posting only street food is getting 2 times the likes or 2 times the views. It's okay. I cannot go to that level. I cannot eat out at a street vendor every day just to get those likes.
Correct. Okay.
I have to be myself. So that's what I make myself understand. Right. And secondly, being in the industry, I have got to know that most of the influencers, at least in the food space, have some other means of getting followers, likes, and views. So, so with time, I have got to know who all is doing it. And then automatically the respect and the tension goes. Right. Okay, if that person is getting double the likes, I don't care, because that's not organic.
Correct.
At some point, Instagram will flag it, some other person will flag it, something or the other will happen, and that's what I think.
Fair. Yeah. And what about people running after these numbers? So I mean, at this stage, and of course, I'm sure you would have felt that too. It's always I need more likes, or I need more reach, or I need more people watching my content. Is that something that you live with, or have you overcome that situation and you more in a Zen mode wherein you say, I want to create content which I like doing, and I want to create content which my audience would want to watch, and likes and comments and all those numbers are just secondary for me?
No, I've not reached the Zen mode. I haven't. I haven't because see, everyone is ambitious to some extent.
Hmm.
And if now that I've taken up blogging full time, I do need financial security. Everyone is independent. I will only be able to be independent if I do track my likes, comments, numbers. I
Yes.
just can't let them go.
Mhm.
I have to be competitive
Correct.
to get an edge over others, to get campaigns, to reach a certain level. Maybe, these days what's playing on my mind is the verification badge. So there's so many things playing on your mind all the time because you want to grow.
Right. Fair point. Fair point. Tell me one more thing then. So, okay, numbers are important, of course. We've established that. But from a content perspective, okay, now this is again one of those real world problems that I've been told by a lot of creators.
Mhm.
And they say that, enough and more times you are just sitting and wondering, what do I create? I mean, there's just a creator's block. You don't know what to do. So again, is this something that you face? Secondary question, like if yes, then what do you do about it?
I have this diary with me, okay, where I have this section dedicated to ideas.
Okay.
Whenever there's an idea, wherever I am, I just first of all keep it on my phone. I message it to myself basically, or to my husband. Then after 2 days, when there are 3-4 ideas, etc., then I open the diary, write them down.
Nice.
Yeah. So luckily, as of right now, I have a backlog of ideas.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't have time to create that content. So luckily, I have, I think, data content worth a month. But whenever I have a new idea, I go and write it down.
That's a very good situation to be in. Fair point. Now, on that note, Shagun, I would want to understand one more thing from you. So the kind of content that you've been creating, and I've seen your Instagram handle. I mean, while it's all about food, but it's also very very Indianized. For example, street food or Indian food. So while you do some other sections as well, but majorly, and this is again as an outsider, this is what I felt. So this question is actually two flip. So do you think one, there is some sort of Indianness which is required to be served to the Indian users? And the second is, of course, if yes, then do you think that goes down to the vernacular level as well? So right now, it's mostly English, or maybe English. But do you think maybe in the future, in the near future, you want to go to a vernacular level as well with your content?
If I'm in the number game, I need to create content which is more relatable.
Right.
At least I can talk about myself. I don't go to a 5-star every day.
Correct.
Or I don't go to like an Olive or a Grammar Room every week. Right? I go there once a month maybe. So I have limited content of that place. What I eat is my ghar ka khana on a regular basis, and then I order in food, pizzas, burgers, whatever, or I go out to eat with my family. Sometimes I go for Mediterranean, sometimes I go for Indian, sometimes for Chinese.
Correct.
So all of you will see on my page, but I'm not going to a 5-star every week. I'm going maybe once a month.
Correct.
That's most of us, right? So if I continuously post stuff that is not relatable, I will not get that response from people.
Correct.
They will ultimately get frustrated and say, hey, we don't relate to this.
Correct.
Or it's making us jealous and it's making us hungry. So it's okay. We will just simply unfollow you. In fact, even during the lockdown period, once or twice it happened that I posted some very tempting restaurant food. And I got hate messages. People are not getting that food, and it's just human psychology, right? You don't post food that angers your followers, because your followers are the only people who make or break you. Don't put stuff that frustrates them.
So is that the reason why we started putting out recipes as well, that okay, this is what I'm having, you can have this too?
Yeah, exactly. And then I thought it's a very sustainable model. Now that I'm married and I can't move out of the house every day to create content. So it's a very sustainable model. I'll go out once or twice a week. The rest I can create at home. So I think that would be a sustainable model in the future.
Right. It works both ways. I mean, in any case, you're cooking at home, so why not just make a recipe out of it and share it with the viewers?
Yeah, exactly. And I've been getting good response, frankly. In 45 days of my YouTube channel, I've got 850 or 860 subscribers, and I'm very happy. I don't know. I'm personally very happy.
No, that's a very good number to look at. Yeah, 45 days is a very, very small amount of time.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Tell me one more thing, Shagun. So from here, now what next? I mean, I've seen the journey. I've seen you doing a lot of things at once. So college and then job and then MBA and then marriage and then YouTubing and blogging and all of that. But where do you go from here? Like, what's the ambition? Do you want to grow real big as a creator, or do you want to go to maybe different kinds of content creation, or maybe experiment with the kind of content you create, or I don't know, do you have something in mind that you don't share?
Experimenting will with content will continue for
Mhm.
sure, because that's me, and I love food. So I will not detach myself from food no matter how big I become. That is for sure. Second, of course, everyone has their aim and their end goal. I always tell my husband that I'll be most happy once I reach TV. Yeah, so that's
Right.
my personal goal. I want to reach TV, and I want to be like Rocky and Mayur, if you know them from Highway on My Plate.
Yeah.
So I want to do something fun like them. I don't want to be a master chef judge. It's not me. I want to be something fun and more hands-on with food, like a Rocky and Mayur or other travel and food uh, web series or TV series. So that's my end goal. I'm just working towards that right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I understand this correctly, the goal right now, at least for now, is to do a travel plus food related show. If I've to put it.
That's what I want to do, because see, I go out and review restaurants, but I do it only within Delhi. But why not move out? Why not travel and also recommend people food of different places?
Correct. Correct. That's absolutely fair. So,
Yeah.
what about collaborations? Are you also looking at maybe collaborating with a travel blogger and then having something which is equally owned by both of you?
I guess I'll have to at some point I'll have to do that, but I haven't conceptualized or thought about it right now. Because
Right.
right now I'm just settling into my new full-time job of blogging and trying to, as I mentioned, I'm trying to get my reach back up. I'm trying to become a YouTuber, TikToker, hello, everything. So I just want to settle down first,
Correct.
establish myself on all the platforms, not just on Instagram, and
Mhm.
then maybe take the next step.
Fair point. Fair point. So
Yeah.
you're there on multiple platforms. Is there one primary platform and then all of them are secondary, or are all of them equally important to you? Like how do you put equal amount of weightage?
Yeah, for me, main is Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's my oldest platform. There is
Right.
a website, but again, it's my website and Facebook started at the same time as Instagram, but
Mhm.
still Instagram was always above the rest.
So you also kind of get used to a particular platform, the way it works. You know the insights.
Exactly. I'm
Right.
just more comfortable there, and plus I find it a more sophisticated platform than Hello and TikTok.
That's fair.
I just hope they don't see me and sue me there. But yeah, but
That's fair. That's fair. So
yeah.
on that note, Shagun, I'd want to understand what do you think about this whole YouTube versus TikTok thing which is going
Oh,
on? Difficult spot, huh?
yeah. If you ask my opinion, I find TikTok to be a very amateur platform.
Hmm.
People are amateur, the content is amateur. It's increasing, it's becoming better, but I personally don't like the content on TikTok.
Hmm.
You're scrolling, and something so cheap and downtrodden comes up, and you're like, ew, what am I doing here? So that part of TikTok has not gone yet,
Right. Right.
right? So I can't relate to TikTok. I
Fair.
find YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all these to be very sophisticated platforms.
Fair point.
So yeah,
Fair point. I mean, that's a viewpoint, of course.
that's my viewpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Brilliant, Shagun. I think quick time check. So we just 2 minutes left in the session, and I want to end here because I'd want to thank you properly again. Thank you so much. It's been really, really good talking to you. I have been seeing your work. I've started following you as well, just FYI.
Oh,
But
wow.
this is something like really, really good that you're doing. Very
Thank
relatable
you.
content. And I just hope you keep on doing that. So all the best. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ankit. It was really nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you.